passing the rooster rests.
Hello, 480C Steve.
Hey, I don't feel like writing that much. Okay, so here's the thing you gotta think about, Croc. Do you understand why qualified immunity exists?
Of course I do, and I'm not against qualified immunity. What I'm against is, look, if qualified immunity didn't exist, a lot of us would be in fucking jail, and there wouldn't be a single cop on the force.
Well, it's not even jail. It's not about jail. It's actually not. The reason why qualified immunity is so important to the police is there's this sentiment that gets talked about a lot of the time regarding police, where there's this famous court case that people like to cite. They don't know what it's about, but they say, hey, the police don't have a duty to help you. If the police see someone getting shot or getting mugged, they actually don't legally have a requirement to help you out. The reason why that is that people misunderstand is because if the police had a legal duty, like a doctor or a psychiatrist or a lawyer, to actually help someone out, and then they, let's say, didn't end up helping the person out, then every single officer who wasn't able to perfectly be a superhero and effect the arrest in the moment or save the burning house would then understandably be sued in civil court. So no one would ever be a police officer because every single action you took would always be sued for by the public because you didn't help them out perfectly. So it's an impossible bar to measure. So we have qualified immunity. You don't have a duty to help people. Now, second to that, when it comes to prosecuting the police, the reason why it's so difficult is because in situations like this, where you're talking about the legal standard of conducting official business, if we were to go sit there and go through and develop an understanding of what conducting official business is and nitpick every single nuance in every single situation, we would never get out of court. Every single case would be against the police for what is and what isn't conducting official business.
Come on, take the pride.
How many minutes is it since Carter parks his car to where it's not official business anymore? Is getting food official business? Is it not? Is it more efficient than the public interest to have him be more expedient with his parking so he can get back on the street quicker to help the public? Or is it better for the public interest that he has to go park formally? These kinds of questions are so difficult to get through that they're not worth it. And it's frustrating as hell. And by the way, you and a fellow named Serpico and a whole lot of other people believe that the police are complete pieces of shit and believe that the system is inherently corrupt. At the end of the day, though, okay, you're going to give yourself a fucking aneurysm trying to rewrite history by delving through every single issue that I'm speaking of. There are hundreds of years of people thinking about these issues and trying to get through them, and they still ain't got a good answer, okay? So look, here's what I'm telling you. I think you should go after police corruption on a level that matters. And I think if you try to burn yourself out by going through every single thing you think that people are doing wrong, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to develop alcoholism, get divorced 6 times over, and probably end up killing yourself, to be completely fucking honest.
Jesus
So at
Christ.
the end of the day, here's the deal. People in the criminal justice system, they have a higher incidence of all the things I just talked about. They become addicted to drugs, alcohol, suicide, divorce. It's all because every single person sees the same things that you do, the same fucking issues day in and day out. At the end of the day, what you need to do is you need to focus on what you can control. And yes, I sound like a fucking personal life coach, but that's what I'm doing right now. All right, son? I believe in you. I trust you. I think you're a good person. I think your heart's in the right place. But at the end of the day, you got to focus on what you can control. And getting upset about unauthorized parking and the fucking interceptor is doing no one any good, especially the public. All right?
So you're lucky I like alcohol. I'm ready to become an alcohol. I will die on this hill. Because the problem is that...
Oh, Lord.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, Lord, here we go. We're going to sit here. Man, there's problems in this police department, man. There's issues.
Correct.
And people aren't trying because they've tried for hundreds of years and they fail because they give up. They give up in the end because they fucking do
Croc,
exactly
do you
what you
really
say.
believe that people gave up, or can you think of it this way? Do you think it's wiser maybe to pick your battles?
These are the ones I pick.
Okay, why? What public good do you think you're advancing by taking the time out of your day to deal with unauthorized parking?
Because if I'm going to enforce people at Dean's World, what am I meant to do? When I have a civilian coming to me and saying, Steve, I want to park legally, I do, but we park at the back of Dean's World simply for the fact that people break into our cars and the police aren't here to help us. We are trying to run a business and we're getting broken into, we're getting robbed, our cars are getting blown up. What are we meant to do? Now hear me out. Okay, I say, sorry, law's the law. Go up the front. And it's like, oh, I just want to quickly go and get food. Okay, the law's the law. What the fuck am I meant to do when a cop does the same shit and they tell me the same fucking excuse? What am I meant to do? Is it because they're a cop they're allowed to do it?
If the person's interest is not having their vehicle stolen, then regardless of the law, the public policy interest of them parking in a safe valet spot in the front, which is there now for them, is much higher than convenience. It satisfies both their problem and the law, which is kind of, a perfect fit. It's a win for everybody. In Carter's case, he is exempt from the law when it comes to having the lights and sirens on, which as we just discovered. And here's the problem. In terms of what they're complaining about when they say they don't want people robbing and stealing from them at Dean World, let's say, for example, that Carter was not allowed to park there on the side and be quick about going to get in line at Burger Shop, and instead he had to park all the way in the front valet and run up there. As a police officer, I know for a fact that a lot of people would just go to the convenience store at the 24/7 and get sandwiches instead. And that minimizes the police presence at Dean World, which is contraindicated with their concern of getting robbed and stolen. So at a certain point, I think it's actually serving both interests for y'all to use your ability to conduct quote unquote police conduct by going into that area, getting food, and simultaneously sowing a presence there. Now, I know you don't like that, but at the end of the day, I think there is actually a benefit to having officers go to public places like that. It violates the law on the pure standard. Well, actually, technically it doesn't because there's an exemption written into it, but it violates the spirit of things that you believe in. I get that that's frustrating, but I don't think you should be worrying about this fight in particular. I think you're way too wrapped up in what people think about you. If you're really concerned about people's opinion about you enforcing the law and how you don't want to be seen as a hypocrite, I mean, good Lord, sir, you're literally going to have a conniption fit. Just focus on shit that matters, please, for the love of God.
Parking is something that all humans do that have a driver's license. This does matter. Look, I get it, man. Ethically, it's good to let the officer go. It's good to let him go and be quick because he does a lot of shit, man. It's police presence down there, and we don't want to deter police presence away from Dean's World.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, ethically, this fucking poor bastard that was defending his life because someone was trying to fucking murder him and he used a weapon that wasn't legally owned is still gonna go in for the 9s for fucking second degree murder. Well, not 9s, but he's still gonna get charged. And that's unfucking ethical. So what am I meant to do? Am I meant to, this officer discretion bullshit? It's like, it's ethical when it matters to you. And what fucking sucks, man, is that we're told to enforce, I am told to enforce the fucking law. I'm not here
Croc,
to enforce
if you really want to go after
views.
somebody, I got something for you. You ready?
I don't want to go after some person. I want to go after people breaking the law. I'm not looking for
and I got someone
person.
breaking the law for you.
Who, Crane?
Did you talk to Bassett all today?
What did he do?
Not Bass. I'm saying, did you talk to him?
Yeah,
I had about
pissed.
5 citizens come to me about Trooper Andrews riding around with Mike Block in his car and apparently allowing the Blocks and other people to rob people at Hayes Automotive at gunpoint. Second to that, when I was driving back to the city after all of this occurring, I was going down there to meet with Bass to tell him I didn't want any more information because I didn't want to be conflicted in case there was a case. And as I was going southbound on Great Ocean, I found a man literally standing in the middle of an intersection next to that gas station, handcuffed, with no officers or anyone around him. I stopped and asked him what the hell was going on. He said that the Blocks had put him in a car after they arrested him and his friend with Trooper Andrews. And he stated to me that there were a bunch of drugs in the van, and he had no idea where the drugs had gone, but he had been arrested and left in the middle of the road. I drove him down to MRPD, and then at that point, there was a huge argument going on in the parking lot between Mike Block, a whole bunch of other Blocks, Andrews, Bass, and other people, and I just fucking left because it wasn't my job to get involved. But I literally just left that man out in front of MRPD and told a couple people to handle it, and I have no idea what came of it. So you want to investigate some actual fucking police malfeasance? Start looking into what happened today.
You telling me that you're going to be my witness?
Witness for what?
It's going to be cop versus cop here. I
Talk
need a witness.
to Kennedy Adams.
Who?
Kennedy Adams. She's one of the people that got robbed at Hayes. You want her number?
Text me her number. But, Crank,
All right.
you know that cop versus cop and unless there's factual evidence, is bullshit.
Hold on. You just, and I understand that, but you're telling me that you just dragged Carter in over unauthorized parking when I'm telling you I got witnesses who will tell you that fucking Andrews had the blocks rolling around with him and robbed them at gunpoint at Hayes. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I need evidence. Blah, blah. Suck it up, Croc.
I do need evidence. God damn it.
Hey, buddy.
You still busy?
I'm at the ICU right now with the pond. It's not the pond. Sorry, pond. She's waking up, so I want to talk to her. If you want to come over here and talk to me, we can knock it out too as well.
What's your ping? Your ping?
1077.
I expect you to be there.
All right.